Yo, hello there guys, hope you're well. My name is Mikey and I'm just about to check out the Dune official trailer part 3. If you've seen my reactions to the other Dune trailers, you know I'm a bit of a fanboy. I won't spend a million years watching this one because we've covered all of the topics before, and if I've learnt anything, it's that my memories of the book have been very strongly affected by my memories of the previous David Lynch film. But I'm very excited. Let's see what's going on.
It's okay. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
Look!
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
Deal with this prophet. Send assassins.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through. Is to you. Do you believe me?
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen. The ultimate power.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atres.
Silence!
Prophecy is how they enslave us! You are not prepared for what is to come.
Oh man. Wait, did that say March 1st? I thought it was coming out March 20-something. Only in theaters March 1st. Oh, good to know. Oh, okay. Number one, we are live on Twitch. How are you lovely people doing in chat? What are your thoughts? You're all shouting at people on YouTube. I love it because people who watch these videos on YouTube kindly on the reaction channel, who are absolute lads, by the way, every now and then they're just like, so-and-so in chat's a bit moody. I'm just like, yeah. That's that live stream life for you. YouTube, please donate £4,300 for new boiler. Okay, let's keep it focused on this. We are going to just have a little, again, I'm not going to turn this into a full analysis breakdown, but we will have a little clip through this trailer, have a quick talk about things. Opening scene, along with opening audio. Listen to that. That's like ASMR loveliness. You got this clank, clank, drop, drop noise. Then you've got that deep whisper. Here you've got the super shiny Emperor's ship. Here you've got the Imperial tent. Kind of golden thing that folds out, and obviously this is on the right side of the shield wall, which is currently being blown up as part of a attack towards the end of the film. Big third act business.
I'm here.
The relationship developing between Paul and Kiani. Also, Mikey, don't call her Kiani. I had some feedback. Let's bust this on. It is Cheney. There we go. I do apologize. That's from the way I read it in the books from a million years back. Let me just get down in chat. Zendaya's growing into an amazing actress. Do you reckon? I really haven't got much of her personally to run off except for the Spider-Man films, actually. I haven't watched any of her other movies. There was one where she had a threesome and then broke up with Tom Holland. I forget which one that is. It could easily change between now and March. Yeah, it could be pushed off. So that was not the Death Star. Very inspired. We've got some thumping. So one of the most key things that has to happen in Paul's character growth in this particular film, if it's related to the books, is he needs to basically take the water of life and do the one thing that female Bene Gesserit can do that opens up access to their biological memories through their DNA down a female line because they're YY chromosomes. And every time a man has done it, he's died in terrible agony. But Paul, if he truly is the one, truly is a Kwisatz Haderach, the shortening of a way, being that super being means being able to go down and understand and look into his own history and memories through all of his predecessors down the female Y path and the X path, because he's got both chromosomes to be the ultimate human. So this is the bile of the newborn worms of Arrakis. They take young worms, which are deathly allergic to water and moisture, and they kill them in this little trench, and then they get them to throw up, and then people drink that sick, and it's like a hyperneurotoxin mind-flaying experience. Love this. I'm assuming these are the Fremen being trained in the Atres style, I assume. Wait, are these Sardaukar? I see 3 markings. Can you see 3 stripes here? And 3 stripes here on a couple of them? I'm assuming that if these are Fremen, then it means they're the Fedaykin, and that's probably some blood, probably some 3-fingered blood stripe. Or it's for Sardaukar? Because they wore a lot of white uniforms last time, didn't they? Look at this. We've talked about this outfit before, but it is the Met Gala, when the theme is Venom. She's got that lovely pearl and bead symbiote look. Big light robes. I do like the fact that they make sure that the colour schemes off of Arrakis, clothing, atmosphere, lighting, it's all cooler tones. Everything in Arrakis is hot. Everything off planet has the luxury of giving away moisture. Big fight.
Nothing's clear.
Big dreams. Big
They've
studio.
been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
I'm assuming this might be... Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the beginning of the film is some sort of montage. I don't know if Denis Villeneuve has ever filmed a montage in his life, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was something along the lines of that, of seeing Paul fully integrating with the Fremen and fighting with them and becoming one of them, leading towards them discovering Gurney.
Look!
By the way, really random. I'm only ever going to say it because I'm such a fanboy, but shout out again to Andrew Hodson, a 3D hard surface modeler who once again has worked on this film, just like he did the last one. He's made the majority of the big assets we see in this film.
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
I remember because he kept complaining in his live stream because he made all the harvesters and he worked really hard on them. And then in the movie, you barely see them as vague outlines because they're hidden with loads of churning sand. And you're like, oh, I worked really hard on that.
Your blood comes from dukes. Then
Look at that outfit. So this matches what we see a bit later on. So Jessica's not just wearing local tribal stuff. She's wearing the local version of a full-on Reverend Mother garb. So I'm assuming probably this is after she's taken the Water of Life and become the new replacement Reverend Mother for the Fremen. Because they had an old one who was vibing. Here's Stilgar.
here.
So there's one very powerful thing you have to do to prove that you're actually capable of being a Fremen warrior. And it's what kind of sets you apart as a man from all the boys. And you get your whole tribe together, the entire siege. And you have to take a poo in front of everyone. So here we've got Stilgar showing us how it's done. He's squatting and he's saying, I'm not afraid. This is how I poop. Let's go reclaim our planet. So that's very bold of him. It's very strong. It's very visual. Very evocative.
What we do for...
And is this Paul giving the great big speech? I'm constantly flicking back to this amazing shot in my head that they had in the David Lynch version, where he's in this huge, incredibly deep, cavernous rectangular chamber. And it's all this very kind of like dark basalt and marble that's been laser cut. So it's all these very sharp edges, but the chamber itself is this super deep, rough hewn thing. And there's just this endless sea of dark faces. And then among them, there's loads of like neon red crosses and shit. It's super popping. So this is a more realistic version of that. Because one thing that I loved between the last two Dune movies, and this is something that someone else has said, but I think it rings true. So I'm not coming up with it, but like I support it. Dune as a book has loads of really weird shit. And the David Lynch movies took all the weird shit in Dune and dialed it up into a really weird movie. Whereas the Denis Villeneuve approach has taken all the weird shit in Dune and gone, hey, for them, it's normal and mundane. So to us, it's in the film, it's completely mundane and normal as well. And not played it down, but played it normal to the point that we just accept all this stuff.
For the benefit
So
of
here's
all.
a more realistic version of him blowing people's minds as a
I'd very much
prophet,
like to be equal.
which of course sounds great with this music, but every time he's being the prophet and blowing people's minds and winning people to his cause, he's just manipulating them. He is a super being, he's a physical super being, but he's no god prophet. That's all a religious lie. So it's weird because he is genuinely genetically bred to be the ultimate human, but all of the religious side that envelops the Fremen and folds them into fighting for him, all of that is fake dogma. The entire thing's a lie. It's wild.
I'd very much like to be equal to you.
If a sandworm pops out in the
Maybe
sand
I'll
before
show
me,
you
I
the
will
way.
also shit in front of a worm, yeah. I've also proved myself to be a Fremen warrior. So many warriors today.
Deal with this prophet. Send assassins.
Fade Arthur.
Assassins.
I have two questions. What is the name of the film where he is a hitman for the mafia? And he talks to the bad guy from Speed. And the bad guy from Speed is like, basically, he knows he's going to die. So he very politely insults him. And he talks about how, like, everyone with dark Italian hair, their ancestors had sex with African people. Like, he says it in a very racist way. But, like, he's basically insulting all Italians to this guy's face. And he respects it because he knows that guy knows he's going to die. And so he's not, like, crying about it. Oh, it's really, really good. Also, separately, what film, this might not be a real memory, is there a Christopher Walken movie where he's an angel?
Assassins.
Fade Arthur. He's psychotic.
He's psychotic now. I still haven't seen any character who could be Margo Fenring. And I wonder if the Fenrings have even made it into this edit, because apparently there was an actor who took over one of them. I wonder if the Emperor's daughter is going to fill that gap in terms of being someone who's interacted with Fade Ralpha to give over this info. Because here he is. Here he is in one of his tournament fights. As you can see, he's been on the same websites I have, cheapblades.co.uk. And it's one of those tournament things where the black blade is for cutting and the white blade is poison. And they're kind of grabbing a whole load of the Atres hostages that they've kept in the slave pits and killing them for fun, for sport. Like bull hunting? What do you call it when you... Oh, bullfighting. That's my bedroom technique. Look, this guy looks so unhappy. Look at him. Oh, dear. What a weird, unfortunate setup. Just make sure that my nipples are out. Whatever you make me wear, please just get the nipples out. Also, is this black tattoos or is it some kind of paint? It's very interesting. Like, this is like modern tattooing these days. Geometric polygons and just like actual smears and shapes inked permanently. So here's the classic. We were talking about this just earlier. What was the term for this again? Shape language. Learn your shape language and your something storytelling. Long story short, triangles are pointy. Evil people use triangles. The Emperor uses nice big circles because he's like steady. The Atres have big square blocky ships because they're the sturdy good guys. And the evil Harkonnen use pointy triangles. Semiotics. Bill Nash, go get yourself a can of Coke. So this is great semiotics for what the bad guys are doing. And obviously they're insanely opulent. This shot's great. This is probably an Atres warrior. I actually think this is the... And again, I'm basically doing a blanket Asian term, so tell me if I'm wrong. But I think this is the Chinese actor, not Korean, who was one of the generals in the Atres army in the first film. And most importantly, he's been killing loads of people. These horrible, creepy guys that are there to distract him, like people who distract the bulls, remind me of, has anybody seen a film where a girl is... It's the lady... Okay, So they remade Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The actress from Sabrina the Teenage Witch was in a film before that where she's a girl who basically prays to a demon, and she kills a whole load of people just before spring break, and then she kills some people later. And it's basically a film about loneliness because the demon was her only company, and you only ever see these dark shadows of it, but it vaguely reminds me of this creepy business. But this bit here, you can see there's like a pennon. So he's not just fighting and killing this guy, he's making a proper show of it, like when they stick darts in the balls and put hooks in them and stuff. By the way, I understand you might have a culture with a history, and I'm not going to tell you to not live your life. But that being said, every time I see a bullfighting video and someone gets seriously hurt by the bull, I smile. Okay.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures.
So, are we going to get Clegane Bowl? Are we going to get Gurney Halleck revenge murder on Beast Raban?
Our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is.
And what is the way that Paul sees? Because in the books, there is a way to... So Paul, how to put it? Paul Atreides is not the hero. Paul Atreides is looking for the short-sighted way to get through in his lifespan. They were... Okay, yeah. So by the way, earlier on, I was asking who are the guys with the 3 stripes. Somebody's probably already put that in the comment section. But yeah, these are the Sardaukar. They weren't like Fedaykin or anything. Because you can see by their head tattoos. And probably these 3 stripes were in the first film, and I should have realized that ages ago. But Paul is looking for a way to basically get the ball rolling religiously and psychofanatically enough that he can win the war against the Harkonnens. He has to put impetus and feed into the prophecy narrative and create a holy war to destroy his enemies and survive with his own house. But he's equally trying not to let the ball roll so far that it gets out of control and leads to a universe-wide pogrom with billions and billions of deaths as the Fremens leave Arrakis in his name and then start conquering loads of planets and murdering loads of people. So he's trying to steer the bull whilst pulling back on the reins. How much so that we make it, but not so much that it creates a genocide. Spoiler alert, doesn't work out so well. So he's thinking about the term of his lifespan. There is a longer term problem with the Golden Path, and that's if you can see far enough into the future, you can see the end of humanity. And it's his son, Leto II, who is bold enough and brave enough to sacrifice himself to do what needs to be truly done to save humanity. Paul is saving his family and getting revenge. His son, as the son of the super being, has to actually save all mankind. It's wild. Remember, the first Dune book is one of my favourite books of all time. The Dune story, arguably, is the first 3 books. And then that story continued is the books going afterwards. And the Dune story, which apparently they're writing the script for Dune Messiah, the second one, the first book is like the equivalent of a fun, good space novel. The second book is about miserable, horrible consequences and things getting worse. And people often said that Dune could not be adapted successfully into a film. Although Denis Villeneuve can certainly do it, I wonder what they're going to do to the script and the screenplay to adapt that book, the second one, into a film that the average audience goer would actually enjoy. Because all the Dune fans would be like, oh yes, everything's terrible now, I love it. But all of the brilliance of this, in the second book, it's like, it's effed up. It's really effed up. But we'll get a few actors, some famous actors would return, so we'll see.
There is a narrow way through.
True Romance. Ah, yes, True Romance is a great film. That's got Christian Slater, right? I want to watch that again. And he's an angel in a prophecy. I hope he got paid enough for wearing that hat. Yo, Marcus, have a good one, dude. Thanks for vibing along. Does this cover the end of the book? So, this is the second half of the first book. So, this is Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2. The second book, Dune Messiah, is that's the third script that they're apparently working on now. Yo, Vari Lestra, how you doing? Welcome on in. That's why oh, did the second book put you off? Because, by the way, I would never force all three of them down anyone's fault. I just want everybody to read the first Dune book because it's brilliant. But the actual full story is probably, arguably, the first 3 books. That's just really fucking great. I've got nothing to say to that. That's just really fucking good.
My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
Because in the books, when Paul takes the extra step and fully becomes the Kwisatz Haderach after taking the Water of Life, he's basically aware that in orbit around Arrakis, because there's so much stuff's going down now in Arrakis, that like in the orbit is crowded with Highliners in the Guild and loads of ships observing the planet. So the way that the Emperor's ship right here is coming down into orbit, I don't know if it's like the angle of anything, but like it reminds us of like a Sputnik module in Re-Entry. So it's not like we're looking up towards it and it's a threatening shape of the Emperor. And the Emperor is threatening him, but this shot isn't a threat from the sky coming towards the Earth. This is a shot of something that's creating a heat bow wave in Re-Entry. And this looks more like, you know, he's been summoned down. He's been forced to come down to the planet to deal with everything. Does that make sense? Like if you're looking up at a Death Star firing a laser beam at the end of Andor, destroying a planet, that's threatening. But we're not looking up at this. We're following it down in the tough bit of entering the atmosphere. Like the Emperor's coming and he's burning up and it's fucking dangerous. But like he's been summoned. He's forced to get to this planet.
My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen.
Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Look at her outfits. So like I mentioned earlier with Jessica, previously we've only seen a Bene Gesserit wearing really dark colours. Turns out they're really into cutting up velvet curtains. Look at this. Each one of these Bene Gesserit Reverend mothers or various priestesses, they've all gone to Austria somewhere and worked as a nanny for a rich man and all of his children. The hills are alive. We've cut up all the velvet curtains for the Bene Gesserits, for the playtime. It's their play clothes. So they're all wearing all these lovely, soft, heavy, roby furs. Yeah, it's good to see them actually wearing some proper designed outfits.
The ultimate power.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
Don't you try your tricks on me, woman. Look into that place you dare not stare. What is it? Look into that place you dare not stare, and you'll find... Look at that place you dare to seek, and you'll find me staring back at you or something. So this is right at the end. Right at the end, they're like, okay, Paul's in the Emperor's tent. What do we do? Hey, Fade Rafa, would you like to fight Paul for me, please? There's a Harkonnen among you. If Fade Ralpha wishes to meet you with my blade in his hand, I wish it! And then they're just like, okay. Reverend Mother Goes to leave. Can you do anything? And then she's like, get out of my mind. Paul outstares her because Paul is now capable of all the understanding, subtle tricks, and personal manipulation that a Reverend Mother is. And then they're just like, Furphy Hawat, and Furphy Hawat's just like, I won't kill my Duke, I'd rather die. Because he sneaks on board because he's so dope. And then they're just like, was it? Count Casimir Fenring, how could you stop Paul for me? And he's just like, because he's like a failed Kwisatz Haderach. He's like an earlier generation bloodline experiment, and he in a moment shares great understanding with Paul and Paul's sacrifice, and he's just like, as an act of friendship to the Emperor, I shall not. Oh. Anyway, in the end, Paul stands up to everyone. He's so dope.
Paul Atreides.
Silence!
Is how they enslave us!
Mikey still covers his mouth when he eats. Isn't it easier to close your mouth when you chew? I do close my mouth. So dude, this is like a developed habit from live streaming. from snacking on live stream. Even if my mouth is closed, I do chew closed, but it's a habit. Because I'm talking, because I'm also talking. You don't see bits of orange. Okay, fascinating. Yeah, so not going completely nuts like I did on the other trailers, because I went completely nuts on the other trailers. And this is just reminding me that I very, very much want to watch this film. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Are you still looking forward to the Dune movie? What do you think they're going to do about the next one? Denis Villeneuve says he's writing a script. How are they going to turn that into something marketable? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's tough. That's tough. But I'm very looking forward to seeing what they might try to do. Guys, click like, click subscribe if you would like to. It really helps the video out. That's how YouTube understands things. Or join us live on Twitch if you ever want to doss around. And I'll see you for a bit more then. Later.